welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I'm going to try to go over counter steering. I'm going to head up towards some of the back roads that I normally go to that you guys have seen before, and we're going to go over how to steer a motorcycle. So first, before I leave this parking lot, I want to go ahead and kind of get out of the way one of the basic things about steering a motorcycle, and that's going to be the low speed part. In theory, you know, when you turn a motorcycle, you turn the handlebars right and your bike goes right. You turn your handlebars left and your bike goes left. Well, counter steering is completely different. So we use the left-hand, right-hand steering method when we're at low speed in a parking lot, which I can demonstrate for you right now. So as you can see, I turn the handlebars left, I go left, right, I go right. That's fairly simple. Not a whole lot to go over. I mean, that's how you steer a car. Alright, so I've actually pulled off the side of the road here. I want to see if I can use the motorcycle on its kickstand to kind of explain what the front tire is doing when you're counter steering. So just to go over it again, when you're in a parking lot and you're doing low speeds, normally you would, push left up on the handlebar or pull with your right or both at the same time. And I could influence the motorcycle to go right, and I can influence the motorcycle to go left at low speeds. Now, once I reach, maybe 20 miles per hour, it really depends, I guess, on a lot of other things, the weight of the bike. That's going to change to where when I push forward on the right hand side of the bike, I'm actually going to then start leaning and I'm going to start going right. Okay? And that's counter steering, because what's going on? I'm pushing this forward, but I'm leaning right and I'm going right. Okay? So I'm going to try to use the kickstand and the motorcycle. I'll show you guys from the front what the tire exactly is doing when you're moving at a higher rate of speed. Okay, so right now the tire is fairly straight. The bike right now is leaning to the left because it's on its kickstand. So we're going to pretend that the bike is moving at a higher rate of speed. We'll say 50 miles per hour. And right now we should be making a left-hand turn, right? Now, this is what you would think would happen, or what should happen at low speed anyways. If I want to go left, why should my wheel not be coming left just like this, right? Well, this is why. You're moving forward at a high rate of speed. When you turn right, your contact patch is all the way down there. If your wheel is going this way and your bike is going this way, you're actually working against the tire, and at this point you would just be skidding on a very small contact patch, and there's nothing left in front of you. You're just on that portion of the wheel down there. Counter steering, we'll say the bike's in this left-hand turn still. What I'm doing is I'm pushing. Okay, I'm actually pulling with this hand right now, but I'm pushing on this side, right? So I push, and what actually happens is my wheel is going to go slightly left, and the bike is in a lean. Now, what's in front of me is more tire just coming directly down to the contact patch, exactly where it's supposed to be. And I'm using all of this tire right here in my turn. I'm not working against it. I'm not working against physics or anything like that. I'm using it, and I'm using the roundness of this tire. Okay? That's how you maintain traction, and that's what counter steering basically is. So if you notice in MotoGP, their tire looks like it's like slightly this way, and it's all about physics. I mean, I can't explain the physics of it. It's just the way it works. You're on a rounded tire, and you need to understand that the harder you push on this, the better you'll be working with your tire to get through your turn. So if you're coming through a sharp turn and you feel like you're not going to make it, it's probably because your tire is actually a lot straighter than it should be, and what it needs to maintain a maximum grip and maximum lean angle to get through the turn. So just push a little harder, get that tire where it needs to be, and you'll get through your turn. Just focus and go. So we've covered basic steering, we've covered counter steering now, and we've kind of gone over the physics of it, sort of. Like I said, I'm not really good at explaining it. I just know that you need to know how to do it and why you do it. The other thing that comes along with steering, and this is probably the #1 mistake riders make, especially new riders. This is something that is taught in like your most basic rider's course, but for some reason it's like the first thing that everybody forgets. And that is head and eye placement. So when you're going through a turn, you should not just be focused on exactly what is right in front of you. If I focus on the car in front of me,
I might miss something in the road that's up ahead that I could have avoided. Okay? So you need to scan your surroundings, look for gravel, look for sand. These things are typically going to be found in the center and on the sides of the road, but you never know. There could be like a huge branch up ahead, and if I'm just focusing on the car in front of me, I'm not going to know that that's coming. So every once in a while, you need to scan what's in front of you and look for objects that are coming your way. Now, the other thing about head and eye placement is you need to look where you want to go. Motorcycles naturally want to follow your eyes and your head. Okay? These two things need to be working together. As I'm coming through this small little left-hand turn right here, I need to be changing what I'm looking at to get through this turn. Like if I'd have just focused on the telephone pole or something back there on the side of the road, I would have eventually started moving wider towards that telephone pole because my body is focused on it. And naturally, our body will relax and cause our motorcycle to follow what our eyes are focused on. So you need to use your head and your eyes to swivel as little or as much as you need to work your way through a turn. And you need to constantly be scanning for a new object to help you get through your turn. So, for instance, coming up on a right-hand turn up here, it's a blind right-hand turn, meaning I can't see what's through or past it. What I'm going to do is, initially I'm going to follow this car, and he might maintain just enough distance for me to use him as my object all the way through the turn. But if he disappears, I need to find something else to look at. That could be, you know, the road directly in front of me through the apex of the turn. So like right now, say I'm scanning about 50 feet ahead of me. Now I'm looking at the apex. Now I'm looking straight dead ahead again, right? Now on this turn, I'm looking at the back of his car and I'm using him as an object to track through this turn. So I don't want to use these road signs that are off on the side of the road. If I focus on that road sign, I might find myself heading directly towards it and off the side of this little hill right here. They call this rider fixation. And what happens is, this usually happens in panic situations. Oftentimes, riders will come through turns, you know, say I'm going to get hot and heavy into this turn right here, and I might glance over and I see a car coming directly at me in the opposite lane. And sometimes that freaks people out. Well, if I sit there and I focus on the grill of the car that's coming directly ahead of me, my body is going to naturally want to follow and move the motorcycle towards that vehicle. Don't want to focus on things that are not within your rider's lane. So that's a really huge mistake that a lot of new riders make, and you know, sometimes even experienced riders get taken back and they panic and they start to focus on the wrong thing, and the next thing you know, you either go too wide or you go too sharp and you end up in the opposite lane of traffic, or you're on the side of the road and the next thing you know, you're sliding out from under yourself because you're in a patch of gravel. We've got a right-hander coming up. I'm going to look through my turn. I'm going to push right on my handlebar, and I'm going to lean right. It's that easy. Got a left hand coming up. I'm going to look through the turn. I'm going to push left and lean left. Eye position always being your number one thing. If you don't have good head and eye position, you might find yourself somewhere you don't want to be. This one's a little sharper, so I can use a little more body lean. Same thing here. Pushing forward left, looking through my turn. Trust your motorcycle, trust your tires. If you feel like you're coming in a little too hot, try to slow down, but during your turn, you do not want to make a whole lot of braking input, if any. Got to make sure your transitions are quick and precise. like right there, I knew I was coming a little too hot, so I just kind of let off as best as I could without upsetting the motorcycle. And, you know, don't go up somewhere and try to be a street Rossi right away, you know, especially if you don't know the road. I've only been up here one other time when I did the Mount Laguna ride. This is basically on the way towards Mount Laguna. I guess we're kind of seeing what these GPR 300 tires are made out of. I hope the camera is doing a decent job of picking up what I'm trying to do with my head position, because I know it's on a wide angle lens, so it doesn't give you the best linearity of what I'm trying to do when I'm looking through my turns exactly. And on these blind corners, I don't like to come into them too hot. You see there's gravel on the side of the road right there at that intersection. If I'd have went too wide right there, that would have been a bad day. Probably the most aggressive that I've ridden this road, because last time when I was out here, the other guy was like a brand new rider, and I let him lead because I didn't really know where I was going to, so I didn't want to push him beyond his limits or anything like that either. So ride your own ride, guys. I said it in the group ride video. Ride your own ride. And if you can notice, I'm actually accelerating out of my turns. It helps to keep the suspension from getting upset, because when you slow down, the suspension can get really upset, and that's when you get those wobbles and shakes that freak people out. Helps bring the bike back to an upright position if you're trying to come back up. We'll slow down a little bit because I did see this trailer. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys got a good understanding about countersteering and how it's going to help you, especially when you come to carve up a nice back road like this one I did today. Hit a little bit of traffic. I think the battery on the camera is getting a little low too, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me now. Got plenty of other content coming up. Leave a like on the video. It really helps the video out. And as always, ride safe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned.